Knox requested another book about Gilbert, so here's another one. Happy Birthday to You, You Belong in a Zoo by Diane DeGroat. To Gilbert. I got mail, Gilbert shouted. He waved a blue envelope over his head. See, he said, it has my name on it. Father put down his shopping list and had a look. Gilbert, he spelled. Why, it is for you, Gilbert. Who sent it? Gilbert pulled out the card. It had a picture of a cake and candles on the front. Inside it said, come to a birthday party for Louis on Saturday at 3 o'clock. P.S. Bring a present. You think he wants to go to Louis's birthday party? We know how they get along. That sounds like fun, Father said. But Gilbert made a face. No, it doesn't. Louis isn't my friend. I don't want to go to his party, and I don't want to give him a present. Mother said, Louis wants you to be there, Gilbert. That sounds like something a friend would ask. Gilbert thought about that. Maybe Louis really did want Gilbert to be his friend. Maybe Louis would be nice to Gilbert at the party and not tease him like he did in school. You'll have a good time, Mother said, and we can shop for a present after school tomorrow. When Gilbert got to school the next morning, he saw Louis on the playground playing catch with Frank. Now that Gilbert was Louis's friend, he could play catch too. He ran over and asked, Can I play? Later, Louis said. But the bell rang before Gilbert could play, and everyone had to go inside. At lunch, Gilbert tried to sit next to Louis, but Louis wouldn't move over to make room. Gilbert sat next to Patty instead. I thought you didn't like Louis, Patty said. He's my friend now, Gilbert answered. He wants me to come to his party on Saturday. I wasn't invited, Patty said. I guess I'm not his friend. At recess, Mrs. Bird passed out jump ropes and rubber balls, but they were all taken by the time Gilbert and Patty got there. Wait here, Gilbert said to Patty. I'll ask my friend Louis if we can play ball with him. Gilbert waved and called to Louis, but Louis didn't hear him because there was so much noise. Gilbert had to shout, Can we play too? No, Louis shouted back. Why not? Gilbert asked. We have too many players already, Louis said. Oh, Gilbert said. Gilbert followed Louis onto the ball field and said, Thanks for inviting me to your party. What? Louis said. Gilbert yelled into Louis's ear. I said, I'm coming to your party on Saturday. Louis caught the ball and threw it to home plate. The bell rang and recess was over. He turned to Gilbert and said, My mother made me invite all the boys in the class. That's why you got an invitation. And you better bring me a present, too, if you want any cake and ice cream. After school, Mother took Gilbert to the big mart to shop for the party. Gilbert knew he had to bring a present because he wanted cake and ice cream, but he didn't really want to give Louis anything except maybe a smelly old shoe. They walked up and down the toy aisle. Mother picked up a glow-in-the-dark kickball. Look, Gilbert, she said. Does Louis like to play ball? Gilbert said, Louis doesn't like to play ball. He hates it. He would be very upset if I gave him a ball. Mother said, I see. Then Mother picked up a new toy that Gilbert hadn't seen before. Do you think Louis would like this, Gilbert? It was a Martian spaceship, and it was perfect. It was the perfect size for Gilbert's Martian space pilot action figures. When he pushed the buttons, it made rocket noises. I like it, Gilbert announced. I want it for me. Mother said, We'll get one to put away for your birthday next month, but you can't have it until then. And we can get one for Louis, too. But Gilbert said, Louis will hate that. He will be very upset if I give him a Martian spaceship. I see, Mother said. And what would Louis like for his birthday? The houseware section was at the end of the toy aisle. Gilbert walked over and picked up a frying pan. Here is a nice present, he said. Are you sure? Mother asked. Yes, Gilbert answered. This is perfect. I want to give this to Louis. You are absolutely sure? Mother repeated. Very absolutely, Gilbert said, dropping the pan into the cart. And all the way home he sang, Happy birthday to you. You belong in a zoo. You look like a monkey, and you smell like one too. On Saturday, Gilbert rang Louis's doorbell, trying hard not to drop the present. His mother had wrapped it in bright paper and ribbons, and Gilbert couldn't wait to see Louis's face when he opened it. Louis answered the door. It's about time, he said. Come on, we're playing musical chairs, and we need one more person. All the boys from Mrs. Bird's class were inside, and they started running around the chairs as soon as the music started. Louis was the first one out. No fair, he whined. It's my birthday. The game continued until only Gilbert and Kenny were left. When the music stopped, Gilbert got the seat, and Kenny sat down right on top of him. Gilbert was squished, but he had won the game. Louis handed him a prize. It was a Martian space pilot action figure, one that Gilbert didn't have. After the games, it was time for cake and ice cream. Gilbert's stomach began to hurt when he remembered his present. He wasn't mad at Louis anymore. He hoped that everyone would go home before Louis opened up his gifts. But Louis suddenly jumped from the table and shouted, Presents! Look at Gilbert's face. The boys sat in a circle around the gifts, and Louis opened them up one by one. There were video games, a truck, and a glow-in-the-dark kickball. Gilbert kept an eye on the door, hoping his mother would come to pick him up. When there was one present left, Gilbert felt like he was going to wet his pants. This one's from Gilbert, Louis announced, holding up the brightly wrapped package. And boy, is it heavy. Gilbert didn't know what he was going to do. Maybe he could say that his mother gave him the wrong gift, and that he would bring the right one to school on Monday. He closed his eyes and waited for Louis to say something. Louis did say something. He said, Wow! Thanks, Gilbert! Gilbert opened his eyes and saw Louis holding up a brand new Martian spaceship with flashing lights and rocket noises. Oh my goodness, I thought it was a frying pan, didn't you? Gilbert was very quiet when his mother came to pick him up. How was the party? She finally asked him as they walked home. Fine. Did you have a good time? Yes. Did you have cake and ice cream? Yes. Did Louis like your present? Yes. When they got home, Father was busy cooking. This new frying pan is great, he said. Would you like some apple pancakes, Gilbert? Gilbert was about to say that he wasn't hungry when Mother said, Oh my, that frying pan looks like Louis's birthday present. I must have given you the wrong gift, Gilbert. I hope Louis was not too upset when he got a spaceship instead of a frying pan. Gilbert smiled and said, No, it was the perfect gift. He gave Mother a hug. Then he ate 3 large apple pancakes with maple syrup. And this is a test book if you want to take a test. The number is 41963.